What's up YouTube, Fallout Freak here, and I'm back with another lore video. So this lore video is a little bit different, and it was a recommendation by Reggie Bar, so shout out to you, hope you're watching, and the request was that I do a lore video to a chem, and that chem is none other than Jet. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Jet. Jet is a highly addictive chem commonly found throughout the wasteland and appearing multiple times in the Fallout series. The most widely known source of the chem is an extract derived from the fumes given off by the fecal matter of the mutated bovine Brahmin, commonly administered to the user via huffing from an inhaler container, although there is evidence of a different form of it existing in the pre-war era. In the first half of the 23rd century, wasteland chemist Myron created one of the most widely known forms of jet and turned it into a highly marketable commodity, prominently utilized as a vehicle for the enslavement of the Californian town of Redding by the Mordino's crime family of New Reno. Even after its creator's death and the Mordino's collapse into irrelevancy, Jet's availability, replicability, and popularity increased exponentially among wasteland communities, and despite later attempts to create an antidote, it could barely slow the proliferation of the chem's powerful addictive effect and appeal to wastelanders on both the west and east coasts looking to escape the brutal reality of life in the wasteland. Overview. Effects. Jet is a powerful hallucinogenic chem that stimulates the central nervous system, triggering a rush of energy and strength primarily brought about by endorphins. The initial euphoric rush rarely lasts more than a few minutes, but the altered state of consciousness makes it subjectively longer for any jet user. Packaging. Post-war jet is typically sold packaged into small disposable ampules or canisters, rarely in half-ounce bags, designed for use with a metered dose inhalers, sometimes sold separately. The goal is to deliver the aerosolized drug directly into the lungs of the user, where it is rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream. To maximize high, dealers would recommend taking a dose followed by a deep breath and time to let it settle. Wholesale buyers like Redding in the 2240s usually receive bulk packages that have to be processed into user ampules first. This requires clean facilities and medical training to do properly, as poor processing will result in contamination and expose users to disease. Jet may also be mixed with saline solutions or other liquids to be delivered intravenously. This was the preferred method of researchers working at the stables. Addiction rate. Standard jet is highly addictive, inducing psychological and physical reliance. Both stem from the way their jet alters the perception of reality, to the point that the euphoric rush brought about by the drug is interpreted by the user as the norm and sobriety as the abnormal. Drug addictions caused by regular jet respond to treatment with Fixer and Addictol, increasing their popularity both before and after the Great War. Variants. With the Mordino variant off the market and the technique to manufacture it at large, new batches flooded the market, becoming a staple recreational and performance-enhancing drug throughout the wasteland. Unlike the Mordino variant, drug addictions caused by regular jet responded to treatment with Fixer and Addictol, increasing their popularity. Numerous enterprising cooks also developed their unique versions of the drug by mixing the original version with additional chemicals. Commonly seen variants include Rocket, Turbo, and Ultra Jet in the West, and Buffjet mixed with Buffout, Psycho Jet mixed with Psycho, Jet Fuel mixed with Flamer Fuel, and Ultra Jet. Proliferation. Jet proliferated throughout the wasteland in the wake of the Great War, particularly due to the ease of manufacture. As long as a chemist had access to a reliable source of fertilizer, they could manufacture it in quantity. even in the most barren of environments, as was the case with Great Khans at Red Rock Canyon. In New California, its spread was triggered by Myron's discovery of the ease of its manufacture and aided by its infamy. Regular jet found use as a recreational chem, particularly by chem-reliant wastelanders like the Fiends. However, it was also used to enslave people. Long after the Mordinos became a footnote in history, the Omertas used free jet and morphine to control and exploit their sex workers. Weaponized jet. The high addiction rate was exploited by Myron, who triggered the regular jet and tweaked it while simultaneously developing a way to manufacture the drug in large quantities. One of the distinguishing characteristics of his version of jet was the elevated addiction rate. Their version was a drug designed to create a permanent addiction that combines psychological and chemical reliance and was immune to treatment with Addictol and Fixer. This provided Big Jesus Mordino with the weapon he needed to secure Redding for his family. It is designed to be invulnerable to standard methods of countering drug addictions, including the various nervous system suppressants that work in the regular version of the drug. The only real way to counter Myron's jet was to use endorphin blockers, which repress the euphoria, resulting in a violent experience that is comparable to red scorpion poisoning. Endorphin blockers also prevent the drug from taking hold again. Anyone exposed to jet after taking the antidote will be sick, as the methamphetamines will no longer have any effect. Before the jet antidote was created, thanks to the efforts of the Chosen One, the Mordinos continued to develop the design and increase its potency and addiction rate. A development version named Jet Beta was created though it did not reach maturity after the antidote appeared on the market. Let's see what else. Okay, history, variants. Alright, so that is a little bit, or a lot of it, about Jet. Let me go ahead and play you a quote from Myron in Fallout 2. Let's go ahead and turn my volume up. Alright, hopefully my internet cooperates with me. Here we go.
By putting tons of Brahmin shit in the vats, we found out that the fumes give more than enough of a kick. Eureka! Literally. Of course, we had to test to get the mix right.
I'm sure you did. Alright, let me go ahead and pull you up a picture of what Jet looks like. Hopefully my internet cooperates with me. It doesn't look like my internet's cooperating with me, but either way, if you have played the Fallout video game series, I'm sure you know what Jet looks like, and I'm sure that it pretty much looks like an asthma inhaler, basically. But either way, hit me up in the comment section below, and please let me know what you think about Jet. And if any of your characters happen to use Jet in the video game series. But until my next lore video, you must always remember that war never changes.